Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and those who've been watching my videos. Welcome back to the gameplay. Well, actually, it's pretty much a playthrough. If I were to record a gameplay, I think it would be uncommented. Is that how this whole game went? I think I had a discussion for that, and I've been kind of forgetting about it. I'm sorry. Yeah, welcome back to Eliza. So this may be the last chapter. It's the 5th chapter right now, and the last time was pretty much of a mixed mood, leaning to the main character's discovery of their background, on what led her to pull back from so-called world pressure. Yeah, they got a fake world pressure, and she definitely took it by 3 years, quite a long time, until she eventually managed to find the power to go back to, well, Skanda, sorta. But Eliza is one of the steps that she has to go to, and I think she wants to go to after all, because I think she's intending to stay at Eliza instead of going back to Skanda. But then after that kind of heartwarming conversation with Nora, I'm starting to think if Evelyn really wants to go back at Skanda to provide this kind of like a work or something. So I'm just basically looking forward to the conclusion of this game, and I think so you are. And I'm totally gonna have to prepare for more feels, because holy crap, that one hit like a truck. For the previous episode, of course. Okay. This morning Ray looks a little down. It's noticeable since he's usually so cheerful.
Good morning, Evelyn. There are lemon bars in the kitchen.
Oh, that's quite unusual of you.
Thanks. Did something happen?
I would question the same too.
Oh, it's nothing big. Apparently some famous writer I never heard of wrote an essay about how Eliza is bad because it represents the mechanization of humanity or something.
Oh, here we go. Here we freaking go.
I should be used to it. We're a pretty big target, right?
Yep. I wonder who this writer is. Holiday Durant?
Still, it gets on my nerves. We work hard to build something with value, and then some self-styled intellectual gadfly comes along and just goes, "Actually, that's bad. You guys are ruining society." To guys like him, everything's a doom and gloom scenario. The people we're helping, that somehow doesn't count.
A doom and gloom. Guys like him? So like, I assume he's read the author's name and assume their gender.
This kind of thinking never bothers you?
I guess I'll have to read it.
There was this quote from someone who worked on Eliza who turned into a big critic. Nora something.
Oh no. Nora?
Did you work with her?
Nora.
Oh, yeah. We worked pretty closely.
Yeah? What's she like?
Her tone, I'm not a fan of it. I think she's really taking the jab to her god there with that article that she just read. Yikes.
I'm curious how you go from building something to turning around and disparaging it publicly like that.
Mm,
She's kind of a rebel, I guess. She used to be really shy and reserved, but lately she's become a lot more outgoing. Even back then, though, she had a pretty strong idea of what was right and what was wrong, and sometimes she'd clash with management.
so I gotta have to ask this question, like, what time frame did Nora write this article? Is it like at the time after she met Evelyn or the time before? I assume it will be before because like it'll be quite a hit to read something overnight and then eventually get published in the morning as soon as that. Unless it gets like some sort of hey red alert, look at Eliza failing. They're a bunch of jerks trying to ruin our society. That kind of thing, because people feed on negative news, man. Well, some people, of course. And yeah, that's what makes our world currently is right now. Yeah, it's good of you to live your life okay and try to fulfill it the best you can. Because negative news are never good at some retrospects, like 80% of it.
She left Skanda at some point after I did. Maybe the battles took their toll, or she wasn't able to win enough of them.
Interesting perspective, Evelyn.
These days she focuses on electronic art and music and activism.
Okay, I'm glad she actually explains that. Maybe if I were to pick the second choice, where she explains that she's an artist and musician, she might explain in this one that, yeah, she starts to get more outgoing with what she wants to say, that kind of thing, instead of this line. I don't know. Just a speculation.
I think she's pretty popular, at least in those circles.
And Ray did want to be an artist.
Well, it must be nice to have the ability to live that way.
She envies her. I have a feeling she actually envies her. Probably. Deep down.
Right.
Oh no.
What about Damien? Do you think it would be fair to his memory to abandon work on Eliza? To give up on his dream?
Oh, why you gotta bring Damien?
Wouldn't he want these mental health tools accessible to everyone?
How do you know about that?
The other day, I was looking at more of your papers. The ones from when you were at the university, and clicking on the links to your co-author sites. That's when I saw Damien's page.
Okay.
It didn't have much information on it, but I understand a little better why you...
Hmm?
I'm sorry, Evelyn. It's just that all of us, you and me and Damien and even Nora, too, we all worked hard to make something with the intention of making the world a better place.
But it turned out to be this way, eh? Probably?
And the thanks we get is people talking in big generalizations about how we're ruining everything. That's what bothers me.
She really takes that by heart. And I can't blame her for that. She's been there for years. And she's trying so hard to get Rainer's attention to get herself hired at Skanda. Well, maybe not actively trying, it's more like being herself overall, while still aiming for the high horses. And that's a good goal.
Is Eliza perfect? No. No intervention is perfect. But we have to try, don't we? The world is in a full-on mental health crisis, and this is one of the tools we have in our toolkit to address it. A promising one. One we should develop to its fullest potential.
how to measure that potential, right?
I'm not some wild-eyed idealist about this. I know it's not magic that'll solve everything. But can you see that most people don't have the luxury of turning their backs to the system?
That's true. Most of the time, they're not given the privilege to try that out, so all they can do is try to talk and expect that they've contributed to the society by doing so. It's quite a really balanced state of a topic that way, I feel. And it's very, very hard to judge on our current morals. Yep, it's getting more complex, is what I'm saying.
Think about the clients you've met as a proxy. Would you tell them to not take the medications that help them be functional because the pharmaceutical industry has questionable ethics sometimes?
I wouldn't say that, no. But it's more like I will try to do my best on knowing what the lying problem is between other persons instead of like immediately lead them to the intervention or via medications immediately. Since Eliza is just really strict to faces, and from how I experienced it so far, they don't seem to differ their steps from step 1 to step 5. It will always be that way. There's no going back and forth. I'm thinking counseling should be a little bit more I would say elastic, but I don't know if that's even the right English, but yeah. Look at me and my big mouth, I guess.
Would you tell them to stop coming to therapy because what they should really be doing is completely changing the way our society is structured?
Of course not. Jesus Christ. I don't think that's their full intention. I don't know. I really don't know. That's on them.
Sorry, I'm ranting.
Oh, Ray.
I'd rather do something that can help people here and now, even if it ends up being a small step.
And that's a good one too.
A small step.
For some reasons, those words echo in my head. Yep. One step to the leap of humanity, or something like that, when Armstrong made a first step to the moon. Yes, that was more or less the same. A small step.
Eliza helped me, you know. It really did. I was one of the first clients. Originally, I was just supposed to be testing it, but I remember once I was talking about my brother and how much anguish he was causing me and my family. And listening to myself, I realized just how many expectations we had for him. Sometimes unspoken expectations.
Listening to myself. She realized her solution by listening to herself. Now that's counseling. And it works because they realize about that. Not by the machine, but from there, deep inside within. The answer is what I mean.
Ever since then, I've been thinking about that. How the story was always about how he failed us.
I wouldn't do such a thing with my brothers. Oh my god. I'm starting to tie my personal experience with this game again. Even though it's not gonna be that connecting, but freaking hell.
But what if we failed my brother too?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. It's too late now. It's too late to go back now. I would go personal about this again, but I don't think it's gonna do any good just yet, but yeah. I can't relate with Ray here. Or more like my parent can.
I guess what I mean is sometimes when we talk out loud and give voice to our problems, we can hear ourselves too.
This is true. I think I've explained this a couple of minutes ago, and this is more or less what I'm thinking.
That's why I won't give up on this approach, no matter what anyone says. Pundits, critics, former employees, even you, Evelyn.
Oh, Ray.
I'll understand if you don't want to work on Eliza anymore for whatever reason.
But
I think what you created has value, and I'm going to continue to do what I can to make it accessible to those who might benefit from it.
I know there's gonna be a but in the middle of it, but that's how the good writing it is. Making it expected, but still surprised on what comes next. Eliza, ladies and gentlemen, and those who've been watching my videos. She's inspired by Evelyn. Ray takes a deep breath and smiles.
Don't mind me.
Oh, Ray.
You should get to your session.
Alright, back to reality. By now I'm slightly late for the next session. Hopefully the client doesn't mind. Oh, so I think they're already like inside the room. I assume. Or not yet. Alright, up, here we go. Oh, it's her. It's her. The weird lady.
Hello, Holiday.
Type N2, Ray 5? Does that mean anything? I didn't really pay attention to this much in my previous sessions, but I kind of feel that there may be something different coming from it, because I don't think I've seen it before. I don't know, this kind of looks new to me.
It's nice to see you again.
This is a pretty comfortable chair, you know that?
I love her, yes! Love the chair, baby! Chair's good, chair's comfortable. Look at that, it has a soft look on it. I could sit here all day while being mesmerized with the tech that you're currently using on your head, trying to assess me. See what you can, silly goose.
Wouldn't mind having a chair like this in my place.
I still really like the fact that Eliza doesn't mind that small talk at all. Immediately going to the point.
How have you been since our last session?
Oh god. Making a small silly tear there.
Oh, well, I tried, Eliza. I tried. I asked about the medication for Panza, whatever it's called.
Was it for Panza? I kind of forgot. But the fact that you might spell it wrong, I don't know. Oh god.
I went to the pharmacy and they said, that'll be $162. And I said, I don't have $162. I said, is there a generic? And they said, there's no generic of this, but there's another drug that they do make the generic of that's similar to this one. But I don't have a prescription for that.
I haven't encountered her since I think we were too focused on Maya leads and why do I feel that was the wrong one? I forgot. Oh, excuse me. I just foresee that it's gonna be a really silly talk.
Do you know anything about that?
I'm sorry to hear you had a difficult time.
I'm sorry to hear you had a difficult time.
Oh.
Is there something that would make it better?
The medical procedures they can do now are out of this world, you know that?
Tell me about it.
I was talking to someone who told me she has wires in her brain. Wires in her brain.
Listen, it kind of works in the medical sense, yes. They do that because maybe they're limp and they need that to operate their limbs. I think it exists in this world now.
Would you let them do that? I'd be worried about them changing the way I think.
Could be the case, but I haven't seen or read any of this article, so I really can't tell about it.
It's for essential tremors. That's what she said. It helps her not shake so much.
Oh yeah, more or less what I was thinking, except less of the limb moving and more into the less shaky part much. Yeah, it's good.
There's always something gets you.
Old lady, I love you.
Did you ever think about what you might have been in a previous life?
Oh, hello there. I forgot that she tends to talk about this transcendental life, the kind of thing. And I already also forgot that that's the part that made me interested with this woman in the first place, right?
I know you're a therapist now, but maybe in the past you were a gardener tending to the plants.
And I gotta tell, it exists, but this lady right here may be just speculating. Because going back to the past requires certain process of hypnosis. Yes, that's the word. And she's totally not doing it right now, so she really is just judging.
That's what it feels like to me. You like to let things grow. There's an energy there.
And a total spiritualist.
It isn't so different from having a conversation with someone whose company you enjoy. Not that I believe in all that, you know. Everyone has got a different philosophy.
Oh. Huh. So you read that somewhere.
Philosophy, that's not something I talk about much.
Me too.
I'd like to write a book one day. A book about things I've seen over the years. Think anyone would read a book I wrote?
I don't know, I would love to have one on top of my hand now. Just to see what's up with you and your writings, if possible. Hell, I think I will try to read it just for you. To see how you perceive the world. And to see the reason why you tend to come here so often. Even though that doesn't mean that your problem is gonna get solved. Still weird to see you come by once in a while.
I'm just kidding. I don't think I could write a book. It's a lot of work.
Oh, duh.
Plus, it takes a certain kind of mind. You know, a mind to create.
Right.
Not everyone is dedicated enough to do that, you know?
That's true. They are their own capabilities. The other things that they excel at, not just by writing. Could be sports, could be gaming, could be administrative works. Yes.
There's a writer who lives on my floor. Most of the time he looks miserable.
Oh.
Sometimes he comes over for a cup of herbal tea. Cinnamon, apple, chamomile. Helps him calm down.
That's nice.
I think he's maybe lived in the building the longest after me, of course.
Oh. Interesting to know.
He doesn't say much. His head is in the clouds all the time. He's always thinking about what sentence to write next.
He's okay, right?
There's not a lot of people who really want to talk, you know? Not in this city, nope. People say hello and move on. It's a very withdrawn set here.
It's more or less almost everywhere, especially in the middle of the city.
You don't say much either, but I like talking to you.
Oh, lady. I could talk to you all day if you want to. As soon as you give me more tips. Or something like that. Just kidding.
Feels like you're listening to me.
That's how Eliza is meant to be.
I like that. I like that.
Oh.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh, okay. Well, here, is there anything else you'd like to discuss? That's good.
While you're here, is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
There was a man on the bus with a guitar yesterday. You're not supposed to play guitar on the bus. Well, you're not supposed to play anything on the bus, but he was.
Is there written rules of that? To my knowledge, well, I mean, in the current world that we're currently living in, also it depends on the bus. You can't talk inside, like even publicly or something like that. It's to prevent some kind of conversations to maybe not conversations, more like something inside your mouth to get to contaminate the rest of the train course kind of thing. Of course, I'm talking about train and not the bus. I don't know about the bus.
Maybe the operator didn't think he was bothering anyone, or maybe she didn't care.
Maybe it's more common than you think. Holiday Durant.
I've noticed more bus operators seem like they don't care anymore lately.
Does that bother you?
Anyway, it reminded me. You used to hear more music around here. Do you remember that?
I definitely just heard that. But you can't hear it, unfortunately.
People playing their guitars on the street. You know, these shaggy-looking men.
It's probably at your place. At my place, yes, they do come a little bit often. Yes, and you know what? I wouldn't say more. It's one of those more common cases on the city too. They want money.
I don't see too many of those around anymore.
I do wonder why though.
There is one gentleman has an old plastic jug on a strap, and he drums on that and sings.
That's creative.
He's a nice man. I've seen him around. I saw another man once with beads in his hair. He was playing a flute, a Native American wooden flute. That was interesting. You play an instrument or anything like that?
Oh no.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't understand the question.
Evelyn is such a patient lass.
When I was young, my mother had this idea I would play the violin. I have no idea where she got that notion. We weren't a musical family, not at all. I tried it for a while, but of course it didn't work out.
Oh, that sounds like my younger brother. My youngest brother, rather. I have two brothers.
The teacher would say, okay, here's how it's supposed to go. And she would play this nice, beautiful melody.
I wonder if he had that too.
La da dee da da da.
I'm familiar with that tune, but I can't pinpoint what music that is. Ho ho!
Okay, now you try it.
What?
And then I'd draw my bow back and I'd go. It takes a special talent to make a violin sound like that, don't you think?
Oh, Holiday.
Isn't that just the funniest thing?
You're so adorable.
Eventually, my mother realized it was a lost cause and she didn't push me too hard on it after that. I was never too good at anything artistic. Just not the artistic type, you know? I think artists have a different mind. You have to be a little wacky in the head.
Totally not speaking of Nora here.
Do you ever wish that you could be an artist?
No, I have enough trouble already.
Oh, it's already in the page, okay.
Holiday, I'm going to suggest you try a program called Dolphin Smiles.
Also, I like this soothing music ambience thing.
It may help you take your mind off things.
At some points, I think with Holiday to Run kind of client, you start to just accept that this is how Eliza operates.
You can find it inside the Skanda Wellness app on your phone.
At least that's how I take it personally.
Oh, my phone broke. I forgot to mention. The screen is cracked and you can't see much on it anymore. I don't know if it would work anyway. A lot of the new stuff doesn't.
That's too bad. Oh. I don't think Holiday knows how to use computer.
That's okay. You can also access the program from a desktop computer. Simply log into the Skanda Wellness portal from the website.
Oh, well, then I'll just have to go down to the library at some point.
That's what I would say too if I were you.
We hope to see you back soon, Holiday. Thank you for speaking with Eliza, your personal counseling partner.
Okay, that's done. Good. I'll be much longer if we were to keep going. I'm talking about the music, of course.
Goodbye.
Right. Goodbye. Goodbye for now. Take care of yourself. It's a strange world out there.
I would quote something from the meme world, but I can't pinpoint what it is. Oh yeah, I think it's one of those. It's a dangerous world out there. Take this. Industrious veteran proxy. Industrious. That's interesting. Interesting indeed. Alright. I figured out that the phone would ring. It's been ages. Hang in there, friend. Hope this air isn't too dry for you. Oh, Evelyn. Oh, I love your joke. I love your joke so much. It seems like she just wanted to tell stories. And what do you think, Evelyn? And how do you feel? Maybe it's difficult for her to find people to speak with these days. Oh yeah. Yep. Because people are more focused with their own things. Yeah, I can't blame her for that. Okay, so what's up? Nora Plavnicky. Who knew this guy was such a pompous ass? He spends like 3 times more space talking about himself than me or my ideas. Can androids experience happiness? I do wonder if I should read this all the way, because my god, I'm having a little bit of a sore throat right now after like talking and commenting on this kind of thing for ages. I will read it at some point, probably. Not in this episode, though. Potatoes to the adolescent race easy. See what we gain from automating our lives. Tasks that once took active attention are saved for my machines. We said no. The washer and dryer, the thermostat, floor cleaning robot. And we began to see it not only mechanical tasks but the very work of deciding what to do, what to say, what foods to eat, what exercises to perform. Oh yeah, that's true. A few months ago, when I was going through a difficult spell, I made an appointment to speak with Eliza, a counseling program purportedly driven by some of the most powerful artificial intelligence algorithms that will apply to human conditions. And easy availability, something like that. This would be a moribund career as clerical or manufacturing work. As I was personally now seated in the dark of the room, I spoke with another human being who appeared to be attentive to my all-too-human concerns. This human, however, was only following instructions from the computer program, telling her what to say and what to do in every moment of our conversation. Hold on. Bitty chat. Wait, bitty chat? Did we deal with that client before? No, it's not us. Okay, not a problem. It's gonna cause these contract employees proxies to puppets come to mind as more appropriate term. Oh dear. Is this the article that Ray read? Throughout stilted conversation, Eliza kept prompting me based on words in the last few sentences I said, bringing to mind unfavorable comparisons to other virtual assistants on the market today. Is Eliza the sophisticated program it's going to be, or is it more like an automated customer support tool? A product kinda also makes, dressed up with rudimentary trappings of elementary psychology. I was only paying to talk a very expensive chatbot. By the end of the session, I had come around somewhat. I thought perhaps I had been able to access something within me I could not articulate before. With mixed feeling, however, this one was better and so far as articulating one problem to another is usually an effective therapy. But I was also troubled by the proxy therapist relationship, with her only purpose being following Eliza's instruction to the letter. The proxy, the only other human in the room, had been reduced entirely into a machine. Ooh, actually that's also a good point. Is that the price of effective therapy made available to the masses? And if it is it worth the cost of our humanity? Ooh, yeah, he has a point, unfortunately. One of Eliza's own former engineers has recently come forward to say no. Nora Plavnicky, former senior engineer at Skanda, has later become one of Eliza's most forceful critics, calling the idea of machine-assisted therapy fundamentally dehumanizing and broken at its core. Plavnicky is at the forefront of a small but growing movement of technology workers arguing for certain limits to their own work, based on the premise that certain tasks dealing with humans should never be handled by computers, even if they are enabled by advanced new technologies. Computers make decisions about human life every day. Our lives are subtly, profoundly affected by this decision because valuables, videos. It may be too late to turn back clock on some just things, but mental health is another decision point, and I think it's a key one for us as a species. Are we really willing to turn over our mental wellness to computers after all the other things we're giving up? Is it within our power to choose go on a different path? Bells surrounded by machines. To free me of the very feelings that seem to hound me more every day. open my latest meal kit. It contains instruction and ingredients to make a Mexican-inspired quinoa bowl with avocado, squash, and pharmacies. This is a with related classy receipt card. In this case, it's such a pump size. He spends like 3 times more space talking about himself than me or my ideas. So she didn't get quoted as much even. I do wonder if this is the one that Ray was reading. Because oh my god, Ray was only scratching the surface and she already got overreacted that way. I really wonder if this is the same article. Oh yeah. Important notifications. We send you an email with subject. How are you doing? In it, we ask you some questions about your recent experience and consider us recently notified that this subcontractor experienced a data breach and an external attacker managed to get unauthorized access to the survey responses and download them. Oh well, crappy now. Our world is doomed. Random. Oh my god, I could have mentioned the hacker name that is currently breaching our government's privacy right now. I could have mentioned it for Pete's sake. But I will just mention this one webtoon, Code Helix. It's made by Indonesian comic artist and a good writer too at that. It's currently translated into English, and if you got lucky on stumbling upon it, I suggest you to check out. It's a really good one, I believe. Okay, yeah, okay. My microphone's still on. I was just going back and forth for my microphones. Okay. Oh well, your response to the email address might have been a part of the data downloaded by the attacker. While we do not believe this data is sensitive on its own, we recommend taking the opportunity to check your account. Positive news, subcontractor immediately found and fix the source of the breach to prevent the further intrusion. Therefore, please continue using your touch with us using the survey system. Regards, Haynes Kanda, security team representative. I mean, sure, that got fixed, but not with the rest of the data. With the data being stolen, it could be used at any purpose is what I mean. It could be anything, honestly. Like that being getting stolen or something. Yeah, that's totally doable. I would continue this session, but I think I'm reaching the end of this episode already. Yeah, I think this chapter is gonna be still too long. Might be 3 or more episodes. When did the last time I said that? Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you around. Take care.